Okay, I've never flown fixed wing before, and I've wound up with the second fixed wing. So I did fly one just a couple of days ago, and I put a link down in the description for you for the review on that. That was the M600. Now this is the one that everyone seems to be screaming about, saying the X520 from XK. Now, it does look a really cool looking piece of kit. First thing I've noticed, and I think it's been pointed out on other reviews. Now I don't tend to watch lots of other reviews before I review something, because then you sort of start going down their route. So, and I'm new to the fixed wing stuff, so I'm just going to give it a go, hopefully as a sort of freshman to it. The camera has got an FPV camera on it, and you use your Wi-Fi on your phone to actually use it, and there's a little micro SD card slot in there, so it records on board, so the quality should be reasonable. You're not relying on the Wi-Fi feedback. The only thing is the camera points downwards, and then if you point it forward, it just never points forward, so it's always literally at that sort of angle. I had a little play with it indoors, and the field of view isn't particularly wide, so and even if it was wide, you'd just be clipping this front edge here, so I don't think it's going to be particularly great. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a go. To be honest, at my level of flying fixed wing, probably FPV wouldn't be the best way to go at the moment anyway, but I can always pop a little proper FPV camera on the top there, so I'm just saying it as it is, as I've seen it, sort of thing. You got a little 900 milliamp hour 2-cell battery, and you get a little charger for that as well. It is a ready to fly one. All you have to do is clip these side bits on, which are basically the landing gear for the vertical takeoff. So we can take off vertically, flick a switch, and then it goes into sort of aircraft mode, and off it goes. Exactly the same as the other one I had to go with, just a different make, and yeah, a bit slicker looking I suppose as well. The other one, I had several bashes with it and didn't break anything on at all. I'm hoping not to have the same effect here, but if I do, we'll see how well this one holds up, sort of thing. These, it's a different setup to the other one as well, so it'll be interesting how these get on, if I do get a clip on them, whether or not they'll just break the fuselage there, so we'll see how we go. Brushless motors, and it all looks pretty good. The other thing you have to do is just clip this in as well, just slide this into position, but it's really simple. It's already, everything seems set up nice and level, and you can calibrate it. I haven't put a wheel on it. There's a little wheel that goes on the front here, so you can actually bring it in and land, and you've got some sort of skids here with little tiny wheels that you could actually land it, but I'm in a field that I'm never going to come in landing like that. I'm going to land it vertically. The wheel, if you've got that on and you've got it all level, you can then calibrate it for level, but I had a tiny little go in the garden just to see it go up vertically, and it seemed fine. So, onto the transmitter, and another, the XK transmitters are really nice. This is the X8, and you can have it in either flight mode 2, which is the one I tend to fly in, or you can have it in flight mode 1. Flight mode 2, this is your throttle up and down, and then if you push it to the right, it's going to turn to the right and then turn to the left. This is normally this is called pitch in. This is if I push that, it's going to dive down. If I pull this, it's going to go up, and then if I push this to the right, it's going to try and bank to the right and bank to the left. So it's similar to the quads, but this one sort of ran the wrong way for me, and that's where I had a couple of issues before. Hopefully I'm learning more about the fixed wing, and we should be fine. And these are all your trim buttons for everything as well, and you've got the little display here as well. To bind, it's simply up and down, and then it will bind obviously when we've got the aircraft on as well. It's you've got an emergency stop here. You hold down this one, and it will just kill the motors. You can prime the motors by pulling them down and out, and that will put them into sort of idle mode, and then obviously give it some throttle, and you're going to take off. And also you can kill the motors that way. Like I say, I had a little play in the back garden just to see whether it would start up and everything. In the garden I tried the takeoff one, and I couldn't get it to do anything. It just lolloped forward a few times. Haven't done any damage, but I just wanted to see whether it would just lift up a couple of feet or a metre or so, and it just doesn't on my one. I don't know whether that's just particular to my one or not, but honestly I don't need the auto takeoff or auto land, because you just land it and take it off yourself. I do the same with the quads as well, so but just saying it as it is on mine, it gives that in the instructions, and it doesn't actually work. The photo button doesn't work either. Just gave that a quick test through indoors. That doesn't work. You have to activate the photos up on the actual on your phone itself, sort of thing. So, and like I say, I'm pretty sure the FPV is going to be pretty useless anyway. You've got a 3-mode switch here. This is in vertical takeoff mode. and then you put it into there, you're into stabilized mode, so it's nice and stable, and it's self-leveling then again, and then obviously pop it in there, you're into full aerobatics 3D mode, so you can then do your flips and your loops and everything. I'm nowhere near that level, so if you're new to flying, this might be the review for you, because it's a newbie on it. I've literally had 2 flights on the other plane before I actually broke a prop, and breaking a prop on the other plane, it puts it out of action. You have to wait for China to send you some more props. So I've ordered those, but this one actually comes with a couple of spare props as well, which is a sensible way to supply something like this, I would say. Okay, so I've turned on the transmitter first of all. We've got the flashy blue LED, and I've put the battery all in and just clipped that all in. It's a bit of a fiddle, so I haven't bothered doing that on camera. And then, like I say, to bind it, you simply go up and down on your throttle, and that goes solid on here, and also solid on the actual plane itself as well. Now when that's running, we can then go into the app. Okay, so I've got the app all fired up. I did have to play with this as well, and I can actually prime the motors with it, so you can actually fly it on your phone if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that, so I'm actually going to turn off the controls on the phone. But let me just show you this flying level. That's the view you're going to get. It's just literally looking straight down at the ground. So, and like I say, not a particularly great field of view. To get the horizon in, I've got to have the plane doing vertical, so that's not really going to work, I don't think. To start and stop the video, you use either the video icon, or you can take a still with it as well. And like I say, my one doesn't work on here, so I'm just going to start that as well. And that records then back onto the micro SD card. Okay, I did have to actually wait till the following morning because we had rain yesterday. Still quite a little bit of breeze coming through. So I'm going to start the motors. As you can see, we've still got a hell of a wind there. So for those of you who haven't seen this one, it's literally, you can fly it like a quadcopter, so all your controls are the same. So you yaw and your roll and your pitch and everything. This has actually got a little bit more go in it, whoa, not a lot, than the 600, I would say. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I had an awful lot more go in it in this mode than the 600. So I'm going to now try it. Whoa. Oh, hey, that's actually quite good. Oh, I like it. Oh, yes. Actually, well, first impressions, I actually prefer it to the other one. I was just trying to use that FPV. It's laughable, I tell you. They should never have called it FPV, really. That wind is really mucking it about, as you can see. Yeah, you can see it bobbing around in the wind, look at that. But it's actually coping quite well. And I'm not talking about a lot of wind. I mean, I don't think there's any quadcopter I wouldn't fly in this breeze. It's picking up a wee bit, but nothing too much, sort of thing. But this has got a great big wing. That it's actually obviously catching the wind, where a quadcopter doesn't have hardly anything to catch it at all. That's at full speed. That's pretty good, actually. Just seems to be bobbing around a bit, but I think that's purely the wind. Nice flyer though, really nice flyer. I'll just bring it in and just slowly bring it towards me, sort of into the wind. I'm not too sure. I've never done a landing as in down on things. There we go. Right, look at that. It's nice. And recoverable as well. When you start to sort of get it a little bit wrong, a little bit squirrely, she seems to hold it fine. Nice flyer. Oh, do I try 3D? Oh, that wind's really picking up now. Oh, you can see it bobbing around quite a bit now. Do I try 3D? Because I've not actually tried that at all with the other one. Nice flight, actually. Yeah. I keep saying that, I know, but it really is. Yeah, I'm almost thinking I could bring it into land. Look, really nice and slow. Very controllable. I'm just easing the throttle off and off and off, just seeing how slow I can get it before we get into a stall situation.
Nice. Oh yeah, really nice. But the wind's died down now, so. Oh, so have I. The wind died down and I lost concentration for another second. And amazing with these things. Well, I'm going to eat my words. I know I am. I do it on the channel quite often. I'm quite used to it. Don't worry about it. You know, the amount these take a real stuff in. I mean, quads would have disintegrated, I think, by now. But no, it's pretty good actually. She actually is very heavy on the stabilisation, to be honest. Not like I say, it's only my second aircraft I've ever flown, and it's only my third flight actually. So. She's actually, when you let go of the stick, she really pulls herself back up, sort of thing. It's nice. I like it. Oh, I might have found another genre of the hobby that I like. Oh, there we can get them in delta formation. Get our winter geese in. Oh, she's struggling there against the wind. Oh, virtually oh yes, just hold her up into a stall. Look at this. Virtually stationary. Yeah. Ha! I don't know that I've got enough battery to try this 3D one. Oh, I don't know. Well, that's further than I flew with the other one. I'm losing orientation. Oh, there we go. And the nice thing is you can put it back into stabilisation, just flick that switch and you're fine. Nice. Yeah, so I'm not really up for the 3D stuff yet, as you can see, especially with this wind sort of gusting around. It doesn't look much at all, but it's really catchy. If I just leave that flying, you can see her bobbing up and down. Look, you can see just how much she's catching that wind. Well, I'm learning how to recover it. I bet it's really thrilled about that. Nice. Yeah, actually good fun. I wasn't too sure I'd really enjoyed the planes, to be honest. But I'm changing my opinion now. They're actually good fun. So long as you don't keep coming up with making gravity work so well that it's painful. They're really good. Nice. I like this thing. Whoa! I think we are definitely nearing the end of batteries. You could just feel it really dropping off there. That was really good fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I'll enjoy it even more if I actually get to see that there's actually no damage on it and get my battery charged. I think I might go and find somewhere where I can land on a runway. Yeah, I do like these things. Okay, beautiful day to come out flying. Just popped one of those little cubic cams on, to a little tiny thing, really lightweight. I've done a full review on this and I'll put a link down in the description for you. Just going to give it a go. I've given up on the FPV. It's absolutely, well, it's rubbish, to be perfectly honest. That would be my best description of it, and my politest one as well. So let's just see how we get on, shall we? This is, just have a little play around with the actual sort of quadcopter away. So it's not got a lot of movement in it. Whoa! Gave up on the quadcopter bit. I'm just going to try and show you the quadcopter bit. The breeze is starting to pick up, as it would do. As soon as we start to get a bit of warmth in the Highlands, you get a bit of breeze, that's for sure. It does fly quite well like this. I mean, it's not going to be great by any means, sort of thing. And it does seem, if you give it a lot of stick input and just hold it there, it then just sort of gets a little bit bored and then it starts doing some unusual things. But I think that's purely because it's, you know, not the best way of doing it, sort of thing. You see what I mean? It's just sort of, I don't know, that's the breeze just catching it now. So no, it actually does quite a good job. Well, it seems a lot better this time. It sort of went a bit squirrely on me before, so. Okay, this thing's fun. Very nice. Even for a novice, this is actually good fun to fly. That's us out of full throttle there. I'm so used to throttling off. I think this is sort of my problem with flying, moving now to fixed wing, as well as flying quads. I'm sort of finding that I'm throttling off all the time, thinking that's the way it's going to sort of change it or drop it out of the sky, and of course it isn't. So I'm just trying to do this sort of slow thing for you. There we go. Yeah. So now I'm getting the idea of it. You watch me stuff it up big time now. And you have to alter everything on this. You know, when you're turning and everything, you also have to lift it up slightly as well. So it's a totally different thing to flying a quad, so that's for sure. Yeah, and give it more throttle and everything. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. Hey, I'm out on a gorgeous day in the Highlands flying. So what could be better? Well, went a bit squirrely there. I don't know what happened. Cool stuff. I might try a little bit of the 3D with that camera on the front. I'm not too sure. Nice. Certainly is controllable and certainly recoverable as well. I'm trying to get it so I can just do my usual sort of, that's it, sort of almost, so I'm looking down on it. This is why I tend to spin the quads in, like. Beautiful. She's good fun, really good fun. Like it. Right, the battery must be getting low, but I'll give it a little bit of, see if I can flick it up. Whoa, that's a lot different. Way, that's better than I've normally done. I've never usually flown this far on 3D, I must admit. Ah, actually, yeah, getting the idea of it. Here we come, screw it in. Yeah, it's just very different. Yeah, it's just getting used to it. It's nice, actually. Yeah, this is in the 3D mode. And the nice thing is, if you're quick enough, you can get it back up into stabilised. So, now we're getting the idea. I've way too much stick input. It was operator error, as I thought it. Pretty sure it would have been. Whoa, now we're getting close to the ground. Yeah, so it's just really gentle stick input. Very gentle. So I flicked it back into stabilise there, which she's doing really well. Well, I'm going to flick it back into, whether I just, wow, that was amazing. I didn't actually think that would be able to do that at such speed. I think the battery is getting a bit low. See, here it goes, a bit squirrely now. You see, look at this. So that's what it seems to do. If you give it what I would call pitch, which I know isn't pitch, but if that's what if you keep it that way, it just suddenly gets sort of fed up with it, sort of thing. So, elevator, that would be the one. Yes, I knew there'd be a technical word. Oh, it's like if you sort of do it there. Yeah, so you can do it from low as well. Really nice. very pleasurable flight. Yeah, I love the way it recovers as well, quite incredible. So I'm going to keep the elevator on, and hopefully it'll do that squirrely thing with me again. Not going to do it now, is it? There we go. Oh, it's starting to pulse. Here you go. Did you see that? Oh, it's a bit far away, but it's a job to know when it's going to do it. If you do any of the other controls, it seems to be fine on it. I mean, it's not an issue. You're not really going to give it loads of loads of elevator and just leave it there. There we go. Look, see what happens? So it's sort of trying to stabilise itself. There we go, and then it sort of sorts itself out. Actually, I think it's almost, if you do give it any stick input for too long, it gets a bit fed up on the stabilisation, and then it sort of does that. Whoa, that actually coped really well though. I was holding that over for absolutely ages, so that's really impressive. Nice piece of kit. That battery must be getting low now. You're supposed to put a timer on here because there's no audible warning, or you could put one of the little beepers on there just to warn you that your battery's running low. Okay, and now into 3D. Whee! Hey, we did a loop. Well, a roll, sorry, we did a roll. Hey! Well, that's not as scary as I thought it would be. Oh, now it is. All right, watch me really muck this up now. Hey, actually, it's not actually that, yes. I would say it's actually easier than flying quads. Whoa, yeah, you watch this thing disintegrate. Well, certainly the orientation's a lot easier with this. Oh, we're really low on the power now. Whoa, that was literally, the battery just gave up, to be honest. Oh, look at this for landing. I mean, come on. It's like set up for a catalogue shoot. That was really good fun, and actually really quite confident about flying in 3D mode. We got there, lads. Whee! Oh, and lasses as well. Yeah, look, we got flashing LED, so we're really low on that battery. I'll measure it, get it recharged, and I'll be out playing again.
Whoa!
Whoa, that was seriously close. I didn't dare touch anything because I thought I'm about to turn it the wrong way and it would just take the top of my head off. But yes, that was a hair-raising moment. If I'd had any hair, it would have definitely gone up with that one. But nice though. I lived. I'm sure this thing wouldn't hurt me. It loves me way too much. So what do I think of it? I love it as well. It's awesome fun. I can't wait to get the props back on the M600, and then I might just do them back to back. If people want to see that on the channel, then put a comment down just asking me about it, and then if I get time I'll actually put the two back to back. If not, I shall just be bucking about with myself around the Highlands sort of thing. The camera, just to show you, I don't know how close it got on the actual footage there, but literally just half a dozen elastic bands, and then whenever it hit anything it just came off, so it didn't actually damage anything. You can fix it properly if you like. Key point is the little micro SD card never once came out on all the impacts I had. Did have quite a few with it as well, and it held really well. I mean, look at this, look at the plane. I mean, it's just incredible. It's really muddy obviously because it just sort of hammered down in quite a few times, but no, it's absolutely fine, held together perfect. Motors work well, everything was fine. I didn't have to calibrate it. You can calibrate it, but when I tried to calibrate it, it never went out of calibration. You just kept getting the flashing blue LED. Now what I think it does is it calibrates when you actually put it up this way. It doesn't say that in the manual, but I think it does, because when I actually had it like this and put the battery on at a sort of weird angle, when I then went to fly, it went really all over the place. I was trying to fight it, let it sit down again, put the battery back in, and it was fine. So I'm not saying that is absolutely correct, but that's what I found worked. And if I stood it up like that, connected up the battery, did everything and left it like that, then took off, it always seemed to work fine. When you're in quadcopter style mode, I mean, I'm calling it quadcopter, it's only got two motors, I know, but we'll call it that for ease. If you do keep any stick input in, literally anything apart from the throttle, and hold it for a long time, you saw how squirrely it goes, and I showed that several times in there just to sort of really identify what caused it, and it's purely because you're just almost flying it too long. It seems to get sort of fed up, and it really does twist and go all over the place. You've got no control over it whatsoever. And then if you just center your sticks, or you can keep giving it throttle but just let the other one center, it'll actually self-level itself out. Or, I mean, what it's really designed for is to literally take off vertically and then just flick the switch and then just go into flight mode. I was just playing around with it because it actually looks quite cool in the air going round in vertical mode. Transmitter worked really well. Range, I have no idea at all. It went 8 for a long way as far as I was concerned, and I'll probably put a little FPV system on it and see how I get on, but I'm not a great range flyer. It doesn't really interest me that much, to be honest. I just enjoy the fact of flying reasonably local to where I am, close to where I am. I enjoy that far more. The amount of time you get in flight, I was getting up to at around about 10 minutes. It's quite difficult to judge with sort of trashing it and crashing it and everything else. And it really depends on how much throttle you're going to use, because if you throttle it right off and you're quite clever, you could sort of glide around quite a bit with it, I think. So obviously you're not going to use a lot of power. If you keep it on full throttle, obviously you're going to run it out. As you saw, it ran it down quite low before it actually dropped out of the sky. It literally did drop out of the sky, but that's done no damage to the battery. The battery didn't go below 3 volts, and it charged up perfectly fine afterwards. And it's a big capacity battery. It took 937, as you saw there, so I was quite pleased with that. I keep looking at it because I was absolutely gobsmacked that I didn't smash anything off with the amount of impacts it had into that field. Really impressed. You get a little charger with it, and it charges through the balance charger port. Plug it into there, and then you get a little mains adapter as well. Charges in about an hour, so that's not too bad, or just over. I do recommend you get if you're going to get into the hobby, if you're buying something like this, you're going to get into the hobby, I guarantee it. Get yourself one of these. I've done a review on this and on this. This is a very simple 2 and 3 cell charger. Plug it in, it will charge most of them up in the hour. It's a good balance charger. I found this really good value for money as well. But if you want something more of a sort of hobby grade charger, this one I recommend. I use this a lot, and you can plug it in on your car. I use it in my motorhome, or you can use it with a mains adapter as well. They're about 20 quid, and I put links in descriptions to the review and everything, so you can have a look through those. The spares you get with it, you get a couple of wheels actually, and the wheel just literally just pops in under there and just clips into position like that. I didn't need it because I didn't ever come in to land actually on anything that, you know, on any concrete, or you'd need some smooth grass on that. These little wheels at the bottom really are tiny, so it's I think it'd just skid in. But I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to give it a go. quite looking forward to it. Couple of spare props, which I thought was really good, because the other one doesn't come with any spare props, and typical, I didn't break a prop on this, and the one that doesn't come with spares I broke a prop on. And also you get a little Phillips screwdriver as well to strip it all down with. The FPV, I really wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't bother with it. You'd be much better off buying a camera like this and perhaps fixing it a bit better than I do, but I swap them around on everything. But that might work. That's going to be a lot better than the FPV, or put a little FPV camera on there. It really wouldn't be difficult, because it is literally useless. It does nothing, and the quality of it wasn't particularly good either, I didn't think so. So I put links and everything down in description for you. You can get it with a different transmitter, and they do a night mode one which has awesome lights all the way along here. I would quite fancy having a go with that one as well. So hope you enjoyed the review, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.